Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Cherisse, if this is your first time here. I just want to talk about what has been kind of a main theme of my life lately ungratefulness. I think that there has been so much intense chaos, so many things falling apart. I do not feel secure in the place that I live and in the job that I work. My car is falling apart. I am looking into getting a new one, but it's gonna probably take me a little while to get it unless a miracle. I do believe in miracles. Miracles can happen, guys. But I have been just feeling very ungrateful but fighting it. I think that I've just been like hiding behind ungratefulness with this front of like, oh, but I have all of this to be grateful for. And the point that I wanted to like talk about is that it's okay to feel ungrateful. And it's okay to feel grateful amongst ungratefulness. Sometimes life sucks. And I think that this is a big aspect of allowing and full self acceptance is incorporating or just allowing those negative dark emotions that make us uncomfortable, and especially in the spiritual community, the negative things that are looked down upon, and how you always have to be grateful to attract good things. And it's kind of like sometimes this theme of like, if you are ungrateful, the universe is going to punish you and just bring you reminders of ungratefulness. And well, I think that perhaps there is a strand of truth in that. I do not personally believe that the universe works like that. I don't believe that the universe punishes us for feeling negative emotions or feeling ungrateful when our life is just kind of in a shittier place and we're struggling really deeply. To be honest, I actually find for myself the more and the faster that I allow myself to admit that I feel in some type of negative or dark way, such as ungratefulness or frustration or anger or whatever it might be, the quicker that I actually allow myself to admit, hey, this is how I feel, and possibly even express it through writing, through dance, through talking to somebody, whatever it might be, the faster I move through that. And I've been wanting to take this video for a while because I will say that there are some people that I have found that do talk about how, hey, it's okay to feel ungrateful, but I don't hear it quite as often. Perhaps that is just my own personal algorithm, but I think that people need to be reminded all the time that it's okay to feel negative emotions. It's okay to feel ungrateful for where you're at in life and what the universe is throwing your way. I'm honestly a very positive person, and lately it has been this back and forth of like existential dread, it's the end of the world, I give up on life, to wow, I'm so grateful that I have this while I'm struggling with this. And I am so grateful for what this is teaching me, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I fucking hate that this is teaching me this. This is fucking dumb. Could you be wringing it out of me? And it's like you feel like you're being broken down. And I saw this thing recently, and I know that this is not going to feel encouraging to some people because at the time it kind of rubbed me wrong. I think when you're in this state where your body just needs to express those negative emotions, having people dump a bunch of positivity on you honestly is not, I don't want to say it. You know what? I'm going to say it. I don't think that it is usually beneficial at all to just flood people who are in really dark places with all these toxic extreme positivity, where it's like you're not even allowing them and giving them that space to feel those negative emotions. So, this is me sharing with you guys that I feel ungrateful while also in the midst of gratefulness. I think that I'm actually starting to climb out of that, there is still quite a bit of negative overload and darkness that I am still processing and going through, and a depression and distrust towards people, and feeling very hurt and betrayed, and all of these deep things that I'm processing out of myself much faster at this point, but at the same time, like, I have to admit to the ungratefulness. I have to admit to the fact that I'm not happy where I'm at. And at times I feel like it's never gonna get better. Right now, I'm grateful to say I'm not in that exact mental place anymore. Perhaps it will come back to visit at some point, but right now, I'm an interesting mix of. I wouldn't say, no, you know what? I don't think I'm an interesting mix of ungratefulness and gratefulness. I think that I have just started to come out of this deep, ungrateful, hurt, depressed, sad version of myself, and I'm stepping back into hope a little bit. And I think that gratefulness can encourage hope in your life, and I also think that hope can encourage gratefulness in your life. But if you're just at a place where it's like, hey, you got to get that out of your body, it's okay to admit that. And I do encourage one thing that one of my mentors told me many years ago, after a big fight that I had with my brother, who I was very, very close with at the time, and I was just so upset about it, and I was crying, and she came and she found me and she looked at me and she's like, "You have every right to feel this, just don't stay there. Feel through it, but just don't stay stuck there." And I've heard other people say this to me as well, and it has become a big aspect of my life where it's like, feeling whatever you're feeling, you have every right to, no matter how negative it feels, and no matter how much other people might put you down for it or be like, I don't want to be around you for that. And maybe those are things that you need to process on your own time, as well as maybe it's just a matter of finding the right people to share those negative emotions with. I'm not encouraging at all you guys just go around trauma dumping on anybody and everybody and just, I hate everything. Like, you know, that can be a little bit of a bummer sometimes, but finding safe people to express that to, I think that there's a healthy amount of expressing those dark emotions to other people, but I don't have any right or place to tell you what that healthy amount of time is, because it could be different for everybody. But anyway, guys, it's okay to not feel good about yourself sometimes. It's okay to not feel good about your life. It's okay to feel discouraged. It's okay to feel broken down. I do absolutely like to believe that there is some type of, like, that everything is interconnected in some way, and that I'm growing in some way, and I'm creating a new version of myself, and I'm letting go old versions of myself. I'm learning to have phenomenal boundaries right now. I'm learning to just not put up with bullshit in my life pretty much at all, to a degree that might be a little bit extreme at times, and I realize that I have to kind of rein myself in and still try to communicate compassionately, and not just in rage and super reactively. That is something that I'm working on right now. But I can see at times a silver lining in all of this craziness. Perhaps not in everything that I'm going through right now, because there is some things that just hurt so much, and I don't necessarily even know how to process that type of pain and grief. But I have to recognize right now, in all my ungratefulness and discouragement and sadness and desire to just cut everybody out and get the fuck out of here, even though that is not necessarily the the healthiest choice for me right now because my vehicle is barely able to be driven at the moment. I can see how much what I'm going through right now is changing me in a way that is actually very positive, even though it might not look totally positive to everybody in my life that is looking in, whether they know what is going on or not know what is going on. I'm I have to still sit here and say that I'm really proud of myself. And honestly, I think the thing that I'm proud of myself the most for is not giving up. Because there are times, and it has been very, this has been recently for me, where it is very difficult not to give up. But there has been a part of myself that has pushed me through every dark night and every dark moment. I break down in tears constantly, just all day, every day. And something pushes me to not give up and to make it through that moment of heavy emotion, and I get to the other side and I can already see myself pulling out of it, breaking through that anxiety, that fear, that hopelessness, that discouragement, and believing in myself again. I think also I'm kind of being forced to, but at the same time, like, I think life often forces us to incorporate different ways of existing, and sometimes we can fight it for a really long time. And I think that I am just kind of being forced into this letting go of how things unfold for me. Um, Life has felt severely out of control. And I even had a nightmare about this last night. It was one of the most intense and insane nightmares I've had. And it was very difficult to wake up from, and every time I'd fall back asleep I fell back into it, and they were like talking to me, like they were trying to pull me back into it. And when I finally came out of it, I just started listening to this speaker that always calms my heart, and what she was speaking on was just like, it was insane. It was describing what my dream meant completely, and it helped me to make peace with it, and it all went along the lines of feeling this out of control while also trying to control everything around me. And it's strange because I feel like being in that mode teaches me to release control of a lot, release all the hows, release the timing of everything, all of those aspects that I can't control, because I can't necessarily control if my car breaks down or if something bad happens in my life. But I can absolutely control the way that I react to it and how I choose to move after that. So while this is, yeah, it's teaching me to release control, it's also teaching me how to take my control back in the ways that I can, rather than just giving up completely and being like I'm completely powerless to life, realizing yes, there are some things that are completely out of my control, But that is life. Life has twists and turns and chaos and bumps and all of this crazy shit that happens to you that you don't expect or you do expect. And you can't just change the past. You can't just change something that you went through, but you know what? You can absolutely choose how you choose. You can absolutely choose how you move forward with that. I personally, one thing that I am choosing that is different, as some of you know, I have a history with alcoholism, and my goal has never been to quit alcohol completely, but to have a healthy relationship with it. About a month ago, I went sober, and I was sober for 4 weeks, and I went through something really traumatizing, and I basically drank for a week, and I am currently going back into sobriety, and I do not feel any difficulty around it. I think that some of the really, really, really difficult happenings that I've went through recently made me just realize that I need a much more sober style of living, at least for now, and possibly for a long time. Who knows? Maybe for good. We'll see. But that is a massive change that I've been making recently. And that's a positive change, it's a positive choice that I made based on a negative happening that broke my heart, um, and broke me down quite a bit, and discouraged me in a lot of areas of my life. As well as with my car issues, I have decided to start selling a bunch of the stuff that I have, as well as to now quite a bit more seriously look into buying a new vehicle. And this is all after I completely basically lost my shit. I had a major mental breakdown for quite a few days, to be honest. I think that I'm still kind of in a back and forth around it, but I'm doing much better now. But it was okay, and it still is okay amongst all of the shit that's happening in my life and all the shit that's hitting the fan. It's okay that I felt ungrateful, and it's okay if I feel ungrateful. You don't have to be grateful for going through hell. But if you're grateful when you're on the other side, hell yeah. I absolutely hope that and encourage that for anybody and everybody. Sometimes life doesn't feel like it's worth it. And I think that almost everybody experiences that, and I could be wrong, but I experience it. I've been experiencing it a lot lately, and I'm coming out of that funk now, and I just hope and I believe because I've been there before where life didn't feel worth it, and I came out on the other side and I was so grateful. And I felt life is worth it. And I hope that for everybody watching this, if you are in a period of darkness, or if you're headed into one, or if you're coming out of one, or whatever it might be, that you get to experience again the feeling of life is worth it. That you do and that you are experiencing that, because we all deserve that. But like I said, we all also deserve to feel negative things. And that doesn't mean you deserve to have a negative life, like fuck you. No, it means that it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. Alright, you guys, that is going to be it for my video. Please do like and subscribe, and I absolutely believe in you, and I love you, and I hope that I see you next time. Okay, bye, guys.